Good afternoon. I am Saad Al-Aziz, the owner and head instructor here at Semper Fortis Jiu-Jitsu in San Antonio, Texas, and here to answer this week's question of the week. Turned out we actually didn't have a question of the week this week, or last week. So I've been sort of slacking. I was supposed to do a video last week and I didn't. But there's something I want to talk to you about. We had a tournament last weekend, and I want to talk about how proud I am of my students who all competed. The adults competed. They showed a lot of heart. They showed some excellent techniques. And the kids competed. And not only am I super proud of the kids, because a couple of kids took gold, a couple got silver. They all did really well. All my adults and all my kids showed great sportsmanship. And I'm super proud of that because there's few things that I get disappointed in my students in. And I'm never disappointed in my students because they didn't do a good technique or they didn't win a match, because I compete a lot and I lose matches. Like losing is part of competition. Like it's gonna happen. Matter of fact, I compete this weekend at the Austin Open. And I'm gonna try to win all my matches, but there's a possibility that I might lose. But I'm also, not just am I proud of my adults that competed and my kids that competed, I'm also proud of my parents. My parents made me very proud at this competition because they showed good sportsmanship and good love and patience with their children. And what I mean by that is one of the sad things for me in youth sports is I see parents set unrealistic expectations for their children and then in many ways try to live or relive their childhood through their child. Whether we're talking about football, baseball, basketball, wrestling, jiu-jitsu tournaments. When your child competes, they're giving their best. They're trying their best. They want to win. Everybody that goes to these competitions, nobody goes into a competition and says, I just want to go there and get smoked. I just want to get blasted and look terrible, look as bad as I can be. Everybody goes to these competitions trying to win. And like I said, whether we're talking about football, baseball, basketball, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, whatever the athletic competition, everybody goes is trying to win. Nobody's trying to look like a fool. Nobody's trying to get embarrassed. They're giving their best. But it takes a lot of courage to step up and do these competitions. And the only thing that I think is more scary to a child than their opponent who they're competing with, and we'll talk about jiu-jitsu, the only thing more scary than a jiu-jitsu opponent in a competition is your parents being disappointed in you. That is more scary than whatever your opponent that you got to face. Like, nobody wants their mother and father to be disappointed or in their performance. They're giving their best. So I'm very proud of my parents who supported their children and supported them in the right way. They loved them. They cheered them, whether they won, whether they lost. They encouraged them. And like I have one of my kids, Godfrey is a perfect example. Every tournament he goes to, his mother and father is there. His uncle comes. He's got a lot of family support. And his first several tournaments, he just lost his matches, all of his matches. He hadn't had much success. And but his parents supported him. They cheered him. They loved him through it all and encouraged him to train more, to compete, to get better. And he went into the tournament this past weekend and he won. He beat everybody. He did phenomenal. But had his parents not been so loving and supporting, that wouldn't have happened. He might have quit. And a lot of kids quit youth sports because their parents take the joy of those sports out of it for them. And I had other kids that competed this weekend. Julius, Cash, Gabe, who had competed before and hadn't done nearly as well. But this weekend, Cash went and got gold. Cash got gold in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament. Julius went up to Dallas, got a silver in a judo tournament. Gabe got silver here in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament. Won some matches, lost some matches, did really good. And their parents supported them, cheered them through their previous losses at other tournaments, and cheered them on to victory in this tournament. And as a parent, I think that's what you want to do. So don't be that parent that, takes the joy out of youth sports. Because for jiu-jitsu, you get a cheap medal. It's not real gold. Just in case you was wondering, it's not real gold, it's not real silver, it's not real bronze. It's just a cheap medal. So let your children grow. And for youth football, baseball, basketball, wrestling, whatever the sport is, don't steal the joy from your children for their sports. There's no scholarships in jiu-jitsu, so there's nobody in the stand, no scout in the stand waiting, to award, some scholarship to your kid for doing great in a jiu-jitsu tournament. It's their personal satisfaction, knowing that they can overcome obstacles, and it's something to be proud of as a family, that even if your kid goes in and competes and loses in 5 seconds. And on these other sports where there is scholarships on the line, there'll be a time, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, wrestling, where your child needs to win, and there will be scouts in the stands. But that's usually when they're 16, 17 years old. They're more mature. There's no scout, at, Alabama sitting in the stands watching your 10-year-old play football saying, there's a scholarship waiting. If he misses this block, he's not going to get the scholarship. It's no. So let your child enjoy playing football at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. Let them enjoy that, or whether it's football, basketball, baseball, swimming, volleyball. Parents, don't steal the joy from your kid. Let them enjoy these sports. Let them try the different sports. Let them enjoy the success that they have, and support them when they meet failure, because in life we all meet failure, and it's something's going to happen. There's no guy out there that's I just never lost, I just always win. We all lose. Maybe the greatest basketball player ever, Michael Jordan, he lost a lot of games, he missed a lot of shots. Or you might say it's LeBron James, he's lost a lot of games, he's missed a lot of shots, but he's tried. And he's met failure, he's met success. Same thing with football, all these other sports. So I want to say again, I'm really proud of our parents who supported the kids, and supported them in the right way. Encourage your kids, because they're giving it their best, and they don't want their parents to be critical of them. So love your kids, support them in these sports, let them enjoy their childhood. And just know that, they need that encouragement. And so I'm really proud of our parents who supported their children in the tournaments. And, they've gone and supported them through their training, and now is supporting them in their competition. And I'm really proud to see the kids enjoy success. And just know that the kids that weren't as successful, sometimes you're just going to meet failure. And you go back to training and you get better. And that's why I like to compete, because I like for my students to see me compete, because now it's not just me talking about some magical techniques, or I would have done so much better. You get a chance to see me, this weekend, compete against other black belts, So I may win, I may lose. I'm going to give it my best. And that's the same thing I expect from my students. You're going to go into these competitions, you're going to compete against other people at your skill level. You're going to give it your best. You've trained hard for it. You've worked hard for it. You may experience success, or you may lose. But if we lose, we'll figure out what we can do better, and we'll get them next time. So that's this week's topic. It's just good sportsmanship, and don't steal the joy out of athletic sports. Let your kids enjoy it. And even as adults, if you go in there and it doesn't go well, oh well, you know what? There's no money at line. There's no big promotion waiting for you. It's okay. We found out, we're not so good at this. we'll work on it. We'll get better. And we'll come back and we'll get them next time. All right. So that's this week's question. Although it wasn't really a question, it's just sort of me tree stump preaching, I guess, about good sportsmanship. I'll be competing Saturday. So will Dayton. We'll both be competing, and then Mark will be competing Sunday at the Austin IBJJF tournament. And we'll try to post a video online, of my match. I should have a couple matches. Should be good. But like I said, I'm going to give it my best. I know my opponent's going to give it his best. And we're going to live and learn. So thank you so much. And as always, I'm ready for next week's question whenever you're ready for it. All right. Ciao. Talk to y'all soon.